two-wheel drive. Marauders, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a video comparing my 2022 Polaris Ranger XP1000 Northstar Edition Trail Boss to a 2025 Polaris Ranger 1500 HD. This is a premium, but my comparison is going to be to an Ultimate, and I'll explain the differences as I go through this video. So let's first look at these vehicles, and we'll talk about the basics of the machine. We'll start off with my 2024 Trail Boss. This machine currently is listed on Polaris's site for $34,599. During COVID, the price on these machines really climbed, and they do fairly well on resale value. What are some of the features on this machine? It has a 7-inch display, ride command display. I've talked about this before. That's the navigation system, instrumentation cluster, stereo. When you're in nav, you can track your rides, pull up all rides, track other people who have ride command. It has factory installed heated and air conditioning system. My brother's claim on his John Deere Gator is, how good the Gator air conditioning works. This is phenomenal. I've never been at a loss for heat or during the summer air conditioning. Pro Shield cab system, full glass tip out windshield, power windows. I use power windows all the time. Tip out the front windshield. Active descent control and self-leveling suspension. It has it. I think the self-leveling suspension works. You really don't need the descent control around my property. It does help when you're on the trail, no doubt about it. 29-inch Pro Armor X-Terrain tires. Believe it or not, these machines have the same tires on them, diameter. That's a premium model, the 2025 unit. They're both 29-inch tires, although the one on the HD 1500 looks like they're taller, but they're not. I believe they are 29-inch tires. High clearance arched A-arms. I've talked about that in other videos. The A-arms are arched on this machine. It has if you can see that in the back, and they are arched in the front. It's very flat on this machine. And remember, I have some extras on it. 4,500-pound winch, which works great. It's self-stopping. 82 horsepower ProStar engine, which is phenomenal. 2,500-pound towing capacity. 1,000 pounds can go in the cargo box. And the newer models have a power port in the cargo box. Mine does not. Important to note the dimensions on this vehicle. Both machines are 65 inches wide. The 2022 Trail Boss XP1000 has an 81-inch wheelbase. That's the distance between flat spot to flat spot on the tire. It's 120 inches in length, and it is 79.76 inches from the bottom of the tire to the top of the roof. All right, let's go through the HD 1500. Polaris Ranger Extreme Duty 1500 HD is the Ultimate, the model above this one, is $44,599 on Polaris's website. So it's another $10,000 above my Trail Boss model, what it would cost today in 2024. Features that it has. Start off, it has heated seats and a JBL Trail Pro 2000 audio system. Factory installed heated and air conditioning, of course. Enclosed cab with power windows and tip out windshield. Love that feature. Electronic cargo box lifting and a 12-volt cargo box power port, which is awesome. Works very well on this vehicle. Bumper D-rings. This one does not, but the Ultimate does. LED cargo box light and overhead switch panel. This one does. The Ultimate has 30-inch tires, Kendra tires, 7-inch infotainment system powered by Ride Command technology. I went through what that was. 110 horsepower ProStar 1500cc engine, steel belt transmission. Wow. Does it ever. It is phenomenal. I swore after I purchased my Honda Talon, I would never, well, got my fire going. I swore I would never buy another CVT, a machine side by side with a CVT transmission, because I love the gears in the Honda Talon. I will tell you, spoiler alert, the CVT steel belt electronic transmission in this machine is as good as the transmission, CVT transmission in my daughter's Honda and in Subaru cars. It is phenomenal. You would think you had gears. You would think you would have gears. It's amazing. It has a 1,500 pound payload capacity in it. It can trailer 3,500 pounds, where my Trail Boss can trailer 2,500 pounds. The HT can trailer 3,500 pounds. Of course, it has lock and ride on the bed for accessories. 3-year powertrain warranty. That's interesting that they did that. I don't know. I thought the warranty on this might have been a year on the powertrain. Let's talk about weight. My Trail Boss weighs, my XP1000 Trail Boss Northstar weighs just under 2,000 pounds. The Ranger Extreme Duty 1500 HD weighs 2,800 pounds, and I'm sure that's with no accessories on it. Not sure if it's dry or not. I want to say this holds about 11 gallons, that holds 13 and a half gallons. This vehicle is much heavier. I mean, let's face it, the HD 1500 is almost 1,000 pounds heavier than a standard XP Northstar Edition. It's a much heavier machine. When you drive it, when I'm driving it around my property, when you drive it, it feels like it is much heavier. But that's not a negative. I can tell you it did not rut up my muddy areas on my property any more than my XP1000 did. And the engine has a ton of power. There's no power issue. It actually rides nicer because it's heavier. Okay? Length. They're both the same width, which is hard to believe. They say the HD 1500D is 65 inch wheelbase. That's astonishing if it is. It just looks so much bigger. And I'll have to put it on my trailer, which is 67 and a half inches wide, to see if it fits. Need a couple people looking when I do that. Length, it's more than 16 inches longer than the XP1000. So this machine is longer. You definitely feel it. The cargo bed is bigger. The cargo bed is definitely deeper and longer than the cargo bed in the XP1000. So definitely the cargo box is bigger and it is longer. There is definitely more room in the front of the machine. We'll do a drive around the property. I'll put my 3D camera in there and we'll do a drive around the property so you can see what that's like. Comparably, looking at them, there is no doubt, Polaris has been leading the industry in technology and side-by-sides, especially in the Ranger. No doubt in my mind, I've said it in previous videos, no other manufacturer has a system comparable to Ride Command. It just runs away with it. Having stereo, instrument, navigation system, track your rides, share your rides with friends, download rides from the internet. It's just phenomenal. So leads the industry with ride command. No one else has that. A second thing, I believe Polaris may be the first to start painting their off-road machines. Maybe they started with their ATVs. And I thought that the paint finish on this, on my Trail Boss, I thought the paint finish on this was automotive quality. I really did, and the quality on it is excellent. I used to paint cars, well, paint trucks for our business. The paint finish on this, I just looked at a friend of mine's F350 Tremor in silver, and the metallic on this machine pops as good as on his $100,000 truck. It is just phenomenal, phenomenal. So, and remember when I did my video, I talked about that Polaris doors on this model don't stick out from the dump body and the cab body panels. They're more flush, and Can-Am's stuck out. I mean, it looks like an afterthought, the doors on a Can-Am Defender. They corrected that 2 years later and made their doors more flush. Look at the doors on this machine. On my Trail Boss, they stick out maybe a finger width, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. Look at the door on this machine. Doesn't stick out at all, at all. It's flush. The body panels line up. It is the fit and finish, automotive style door. It's got a D10 on it. Automotive style door. It's just fantastic. The fit and finish on it, just beautiful. So let's pause there, and I want to talk about something else. Realistically, for my property, and I think for most people who have a utility vehicle, a Ranger 570, which I don't believe has an enclosed cab, a Ranger 570 would probably work on our properties. Would we have to make more trips maybe? Could I put as many chainsaws in the back or piles of wood or twigs? Yeah, it probably would work. I'd just make more trips. But it would work. It would get through the creek. It would get me through the mud on the property. Just would be more trips with a machine. Where the difference is when you start riding these machines off-road and on trail, where you get more ground clearance in them, 14 inches versus 15 inches. You think that's a minor difference, 1 inch? When you're in the trail, that 1 inch means a lot. Maybe 10 inches of wheel travel on the Trail Boss, I can't remember what it was, and 12 inches of wheel travel on the HD 1500. On the trail, it makes a difference. If you're driving them frequently, having a unit with an enclosed cab and heated and air conditioning, especially during Buffalo winters, and our summers, we get into the 90s, tipping 100 frequently during the summers, heated and air conditioning, especially when you get older, is just nicer. And it's just a plus on the trail. Do you need all of this? No, you don't need it. But when you have it, do you like it? You love it when you have it. You love it. You can't beat a cab for around your property. And even though a smaller open machine may work, being open, if I store it outside, it's going to get beat up faster in the outdoor elements. I've never stored a machine of mine outside, but I may in the future. I want it to have a cab and glass and lock it up just like a car. And that HD 1500 is like leaving a car outside, which I do. Everything's enclosed and protected, and I like that very much about it. If you think that these machines are very expensive, $35,000 versus $45,000, I'm not going to argue with you. You're right. They're very expensive. You might want to say they're too expensive. Some of you are saying that too expensive. I've heard it. I could even buy a used Bronco, a 1-year-old, 2-year-old Bronco, or a Jeep for the cost of an HD 1500. So they're not inexpensive. But then in my neighborhood, it would look funny with me driving around a Jeep to do my yard pickup sticks or a Bronco to pick up sticks in my neighborhood. And as I've said in other videos, I can't always use my track machines just because it's too muddy or the grass, it's too wet, and it just, when I pivot, it will rip up the grass. So these come in very handy. Is it a necessity? Kind of. Absolute? Probably not. But again, when you put them on the trail, it really makes a big difference. The engine in the 1500 HD has its horsepower and torque low, as opposed to the higher revving engine, 1000cc engine and CVT transmission in the Trail Boss. That helps it be much quieter in the cab, uses its power more efficiently, and to me, if I license that and put it on the street, which if I owned one I would, much more streetable to cruise to the gas station a mile, 2 miles away at 35 to 40 miles an hour, cruise back, go for ice cream 2 miles away. Much more streetable with that machine. Drive to my property, which is 10 minutes away to hunt. Would much rather do it in that loaded up than this. It just higher RPM, louder in the cab noise, and just not as comfortable to run the road with that. If this is set up the HD15, I believe that it's definitely a winner for running the road. Can do it easily with DOT tires, licensed property, and probably I would get a WD lighting kit. Let's take both of them for a ride around the property. I have stuff in the bed, but I'm going to try to carefully tip the bed and stuff won't fall out. A little tighter quarters in here because of the length of the bed, but that's the 1000cc parallel twin engine. Excellent. They've had it for decades. It's gotten bigger. They refine it every year. Take you a look around. See the stuff I have in the back? Got a video coming out on this. That's amazing. Does get hot. See the heat shields. Change the oil in an hour. It's a little cramped at times, but it's definitely doable. Great engine. Okay, let's start up the 1500D. This is Rich. So Polaris is hiding something. They always show you the view from this side of the engine. They don't want to show you the other side of the engine, and I'm going to show it to you. This side, no doubt. Hydraulic strut, I think it's hydraulic to raise the dump bed. The engine is canted at an angle to keep the center of gravity low and to keep the bed height of the box low. Look at that exhaust system. Beautiful, the intake manifold. Now you're going to see of the engine that Polaris does not want to see. First on this, look, it's beautiful. Intake manifold, fuel injection, that's the butterfly valve I believe. Fuel injection has manifold, air conditioning, got to be the air conditioning pump. Look at where the air filter is. My God, I'm sorry, oil filter, look at it, I'm touching it. I believe the oil fill is just below there. I think that's the meter for the air filter. Air filter is easily accessible. So I'm thinking that's about how much water you could drive this in. Because they never show you this side of the engine, and it's beautiful. Come on, I gotta hype it up a little. Power dump bed, and you can get filled with that easily. Hit a button to lower it. I really like that it's one click of the key to start it, like my Husqvarna motorcycle. You don't have to hold the key. So I'm rocking the Insta360 X4 camera. I'm gonna put the windows up. You can see when this machine came out, the shifting was like much smoother than any previous Ranger. Much smoother. Definitely smoother than a Defender. The Defender has the ratchets on the gear shift. You have to clunk it up into the ratchets and clunk it down. Not great to plow with. So this is better. 2022 Trail Boss is better than previous Rangers. On the Ranger, the XP 1000 Trail Boss, the vents are only, there's defrost vents, which there's cold air coming out, and then there's dashboard louvers. On the HD 1500, I believe it has defrosters, it has dashboard vents, it has floor, and I think you might be able to mix them. You may be able to mix them. They have a combination of those. This is the ride command screen, which is also stereo and nav, which I'm a huge fan of. Stereo, for some reason, it's thinking that it's night. I don't know why. We'll see if it changes when I pull on the sun. That's the navigation system, and then that's instrumentation. So let's pull out. Interesting. It missed high gear. I didn't have it all the way forward. Of course, I'm shifting with the wrong hand. I don't know if it's coming across in the microphone on the Insta360. There's a little whine in the transmission. The CVT belt when you take off. Let's do it again. I think maybe you can hear it then. There's a little whoa, 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 little whine. This does not have hill hold, which the HD 1500 does when you have your seatbelt on, which is awesome. So we'll go up this little hill. Tires are spinning. I have only the rear tires. Let's stop. And then she's rolling back down. Okay? No hill hold on this. Not a huge, again. Did I ever beat myself up on my property because I don't have hill hold? No. Now I'm going 8 miles an hour and I'm pushing 3,000 RPM. It's just louder. It's working hard. I'll take you for a run down the street. Let's go down the street. Hop the curb with it. I could put it in low and it would be even louder, but I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to give you a real. And by the way, most of the time when I'm traveling on my property, it is in low gear. I may run out of gas and showing it's empty. I might be walking back to the house. RPMs, 4,500 RPMs. I'm going 20 miles an hour. We'll go down to the end of the street. So 4,400 RPM, 20 miles an hour. Let's go to 6 miles an hour. I'm at 4,600 RPM. Not terrible. Frankly, I think it's pretty respectable, but not terrible. The cab is cool. It's about 80 something degrees today, and with the air on, the cab is cool. Oh, when I went around a turn and shoved the tank gas to one side, it showed I had gas. Oh, that's not necessarily good. Okay. Speed it's quick enough, frankly. thought it was lacking on the trail, and you guys know I'm not a hot rod guy. I thought the speed was acceptable. You can see on rough terrain, it's fine. Alright, let's park it, and we'll take the 1500 HD around the property. Very easy to get in and out of the cab. Doors shut easily. One touch start, like my Husqvarna Norden. Just click it once. You don't let go of the key and it will start. Power window up. So the AC is on. Now watch this. Watch this. Of course you're watching this. So you have to put your foot on the brake to shift. When your seatbelt is on, which the seatbelt is clipped, it has a creep function. You see it creeping forward? It was a little bit of a rut there. Now watch, I'll put it in reverse. And she's creeping in reverse. There's only park, reverse, drive. Neutral is behind this access panel here. You have to throw a lever to put it in neutral. See, she's creeping forward like a car, people. Like a car. Super cool. You're going to have to trust me when I read out the speed. It's, by the way, except both have tilt and telescoping steering wheels, which are exceptional. Listen to this engine run. It keeps saying on videos it's and am I locked out on the rear end? Let's lock the rear end out. So I'll go up this hill the same way. Okay, both my rear tires are locked out like on my Trail Boss. I'll go up this hill the same way. Just look it up. Let's see if hill hold works. Oh boy, feeling that 1,000 pounds, guys. All right, she's in a... Okay, let's do a hill hold to see if she'll stay, and she holds on the hill. Wow, so much for the Trail Boss. Wow, she didn't get stuck on two-wheel drive. Some interesting things. I believe this is all-wheel drive. The XP1000 is four-wheel drive. So I'm going to take it out of four-wheel drive. Now I have both rear tires locked out. And again, hill hold works great. When you're in this, when I'm in this, it feels, rides like a heavier vehicle. And it's a good ride. Very, very good ride. Excellent ride. It's an excellent ride. Very comfortable. And sometimes at low RPM, like I'm in comfort mode, it's a little logy. Not because of the lack of power, it's the transmission. If I put it in, let's drop it in tow haul mode. Then I would probably use, the throttle response is almost immediate, frankly. We'll take you out the same way. Oh boy, that was a test, wasn't it? When she got stuck getting on that rut. Oh boy. Sorry, Polaris people. Probably saying, Pete, you're wrong, it's screaming. I'm in essentially tow haul mode as well. So let's take it out of tow haul mode. I'll just push the button. Alright, it's in comfort mode, out of tow haul mode. Let's 20,000 RPM. Let's take it up. Miles an hour is, again, 2,600 RPM. Let's go 25. Again, it shifts almost like it has gears. 25 miles an hour is 2,800 RPM. It's 25 miles an hour. I hope it comes across in video how much quieter this is. And again, it's in comfort mode, so she's a little logy. I'm gonna get on the grass and then shift it into standard mode, which is a little better. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave it in comfort mode. Let's cut across in the backyard in comfort mode. This vehicle at all. I may be using the top first third throw of the throttle. I'm not flooring it at all, and it's just exceptional. And again, it almost sounds like a diesel engine chugging away. Okay. Put it in park. You hear that brake lever click in, you got to push the brake. If I try to shift it without pushing the brake, it won't. Hear the brake, the transmission release come off. Look, creep. She's creeping forward. Air conditioning is great. Okay. I'll get some extra. I might take it across the creek. We'll put it in all-wheel drive to do that. I hope you've stuck around for the end of this video. Built a smoky, burnt my fire. I've had this fire pit here for 3 years, COVID. I think it was at the start of COVID. I was supposed to do camping videos here, never did one. I'm starting to use it as a little set for videos, and I kind of like. Have to thank Pioneer Motorsports, my off-road equipment, all of it except the Talon. They don't sell Honda, but all my off-road equipment I purchased from Pioneer Motorsports in Chaffee, New York. They treat me like family. I'm sure they'll treat you like family. This video would not have been possible without Chad to drop off Polaris HD 1500 Ranger, which is phenomenal, phenomenal. So big thank you to Pioneer Motorsports family, especially Chad and Kyle and Michelle and the rest of them, and Jennifer, can't forget Jennifer. But thank you, Pioneer Motorsports, for dropping this machine off. Couldn't do this video without it. And they asked me if I wanted to do the video months ago. Been so wrapped up in on-road motorcycles, and then sent me another reminder, and I jumped on it. This machine here, Polaris has done it again. It has revolutionized the UTV business. Not only does it have the highest capabilities towing and hauling, the most cylinders out of a UTV. The steel belt transmission, electronic transmission, is automotive. It is phenomenal. You would think it's shifting gears, just like my Honda, my daughter's Honda that I got her, or a Subaru. I drove a Subaru with a CTV transmission. I swear they electronically program in gear shifts in it, and they do it, I believe Polaris does it by manipulating electronically the primary drive and secondary drive. So instead of using centripetal force to move the belt up and down the drive, they're doing it mechanically, moving the shims, the pulleys in and out to adjust the gear and lower the RPM on the engine. So the transmission, liquid cooled transmission, liquid cooled, I think they have it 50,000 miles before the belt needs to be serviced on it. The engine is a brand new engine. I think it might be a chopped down version out of the Razor Pro. It's phenomenal. Marauders, to summarize, I'm just thoroughly impressed with the design, engineering, and quality of the HD 1500. It's just an amazing machine. It's a huge leap forward for UTVs and the UTV industry. Polaris did an exceptional job, and it shows. Big thing for me is the engine and transmission. I'm usually an engine and transmission guy, and then all the other upgrades they did on the body is just phenomenal. Quick comment. There is a big difference in the weight of 1,000 pounds between my 22 1000 XP Trail Boss Northstar and this machine, which is 1,000 pounds heavier, and you see it in the video when it wouldn't go up that little swale I had on my property. I absolutely believe that was attributed to weight, and I just should have put it in all-wheel drive to get up it, which I eventually did. I want to thank you for taking your time to watch this, your valuable time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, sharing it with a friend. I hope to see you on the trail. Let's respect each other and each other's opinions. I wish you happiness in whatever your endeavors are doing, especially riding off-road or riding a motorcycle on the street. Take care and God bless.